All of us here at St. John's hope that you are having a blessed Easter. And remember that Easter is a season, it's not just a day. In fact, they call it the Great 50 Days of Easter, and it extends all the way from Easter Day to the Feast of Pentecost, 50 days later. Holy Week was really a fantastic journey here at St. John's Cathedral. It wasn't, as you can tell, without its bumps and bruises, but I can assure you that everything came off here without a hitch. I appreciate all the concern that if people have extended as they've seen me. I can tell you that I did take a little bit of a tumble, but it looks much worse than it actually feels. But now that we are into the Easter season, we have some of the most joyous liturgies in the whole of the Christian year. And we'll be doing some things liturgically that are a little bit actually very old, but might feel a little bit new to us here at St. John's. For one thing, we are going to hold on to singing a canticle of praise at the beginning of the service. So between the collect of purity and the collect of the day, that prayer for purity and the prayer that is associated with the particular Sunday, we will be singing the Gloria in Excelsis. And this is right out of the hymnal, so you'll have to turn to the front part of the hymnal where the S numbers are for service music, and turn to S280. We will also be retaining the psalm, and we'll do it a couple of different ways. This week, the choir will be singing the psalm at the 10:30 service, and in future weeks, we will invite some some congregation participation along. So we hope to involve you in future weeks in singing the psalm. The book of Psalms is sort of the songbook of the Holy Scriptures, those poems in the center of the Old Testament that were originally intended to be sung. And so it's part of our Judeo-Christian tradition in worship to sing those hymns of praise, hymns of lament, hymns of sorrow, all of those wonderful expressions of faith that are contained in the book of Psalms, all as musical expressions in and of themselves. We will also be retaining saying the Creed. That's been a very popular thing. Folks have asked us when we would be saying the Creed on a weekly basis. And so here during this Easter season, we will be reaffirming our faith in those very familiar words of the Nicene Creed every Sunday at its place in the liturgy. So we'll have some things that we're sort of bringing back, some things that maybe will energize the liturgy and feel a little bit new, while also just holding on to our tradition. The choir, we also have some just wonderful music. Second Sunday of Easter every year is called Low Sunday or Thomas Sunday. Low Sunday for obvious reasons. There's been so much church going. Sometimes we see a dip in attendance on this second Sunday in the Easter season. That's not so much the case here at St. John's. We usually have fairly robust congregations on this first weekend after Easter Day. And so we'll hope that that happens again this year. But Thomas Sunday, because every year in all three lectionary cycles, we hear the story of doubting Thomas. And there's a lot of food for thought in that narrative of doubting Thomas. But it also gives us a chance to explore what it means to believe and how do we believe without seeing things? How do we believe in faith? How do we walk in faith? So a lot of really rich ideas, and a lot of the hymnody that we will sing really talks about walking in faith, and it ties into that reading of Doubting Thomas. At the offertory, the choir will be singing some contemporary notes. A contemporary composer, Gary Davison, setting some 16th century poetry by Edmund Spenser. It's a sonnet from his collection Amoretti. Most glorious Lord of life, that on this day didst make thy triumph over death and sin, and having harrowed hell, didst bring away captivity, thence captive us to win. Some really extraordinarily beautiful words, kind of a love song about salvation. And it's set very tenderly like a love song by the contemporary composer, Gary Davison. So we have a range of wonderful things in store for you at this second Sunday in the Easter season. Beautiful prayers, a wonderful narrative in the gospel, and some excellent music. And we invite you to continue in celebrating this coming of spring, the renewal of life, the rebirth, the resurrection that we experience in this season here at St. John's.